I never thought 43 years on Wall Street would lead me here, standing in the study of my own Martha's Vineyard estate at 2 in the morning, watching my daughter and her husband forge my signature on life insurance documents while my wife lay sedated in our bedroom upstairs. But that's exactly where decades as an investment banker got me. The kind of instinct that made me spot bad deals in boardrooms, that made me drive up from Manhattan 5 days early when something felt off about my daughter's voice on the phone. It was supposed to be 4th of July weekend. Patricia and I had spent the last 45 years building our life together. She ran the Coleman Gallery in Soho for 32 years while I worked my way from junior analyst to managing partner at Sterling & Associates. When I finally retired at 67 this past spring, we thought we'd earned our peace. The Martha's Vineyard estate wasn't much when we bought it 30 years ago. Just a rundown captain's house on 3 oceanfront acres, but I'd overseen every renovation, every expansion. Patricia designed the gardens, chose every piece of furniture, curated the art collection. It was supposed to be where our grandchildren would spend summers, where we'd grow old watching sailboats drift past at sunset. I'd driven up from Manhattan on Monday evening, 5 days before the holiday. My daughter Ashley had called that morning, her voice strange, tight. She said Patricia had been confused lately, forgetting things, asking the same questions repeatedly. Nothing serious, she'd assured me, but maybe I should stay in the city an extra week while she handled things at the estate. That's when the instinct kicked in. 43 years of reading financial statements and body language don't leave you. I told her I'd stay put, hung up, and immediately packed the car. The drive took nearly 6 hours through evening traffic. I'd tried calling Patricia 4 times, no answer. Her phone went straight to voicemail. Not unusual. Cell service was spotty on the Vineyard, but combined with Ashley's call, it gnawed at me. Call it 4 decades of spotting patterns in data before anyone else saw them. I pulled into our circular driveway around midnight. The house blazed with lights, every window illuminated. Odd. Patricia usually turned in by 10. I grabbed my briefcase from the Tesla and walked toward the front entrance, my leather shoes quiet on the brick pavers. That's when I heard it. Voices. Urgent whispered voices coming from my study window, and underneath it, fainter, someone crying upstairs. I didn't go through the front door. Investment bankers learn to gather all information before making a move. I walked around the side of the house, staying in the shadows of Patricia's hydrangea gardens. The study windows faced the garden, curtains drawn but not completely closed. I could see 2 figures inside, hunched over my mahogany desk. Ashley, 42 years old, my oldest, her red hair catching the desk lamplight, and Derek, her husband of 8 years, tall, gesturing with papers in his hand. I moved closer, pressed against the house. The life insurance policy transfers the full $12 million to the estate. Derek's voice carried through the cracked window. Once we have guardianship, we control the estate. The developers are ready to close within 30 days. What if my father comes back early? Ashley's voice, uncertain, not the confident daughter I knew. He won't. You told him to stay away. And even if he does, look at this. Derek held up papers. Medical documentation. Progressive dementia. Signed by Dr. Westbrook. 3 incidents documented. The insurance company won't question it when he has his accident. Accident. The word hung in the humid July air like poison. Dr. Westbrook said it would just look like natural progression, Ashley said. That at his age, with the documented confusion, a fall would be expected. Tragic, but not suspicious. Exactly. The stairs are steep. Happens to elderly people all the time, especially ones with balance issues from medication. Derek's voice was matter-of-fact, like he was discussing a business transaction. Ice flooded my veins despite the warm night. I'm 67 years old, not elderly. I ran the New York Marathon last fall. I advised 3 Fortune 500 companies. And they were planning to kill me. What about Mom? Ashley asked, and I heard something crack in her voice. The medication we've been giving her will make her easier to manage. Once your father's gone, we move her to that facility in Connecticut. She won't remember any of this in 6 months. The Alzheimer's will take care of the rest. Patricia doesn't have Alzheimer's. She has a master's degree in art history and can recite provenance on paintings from memory. She balanced our household accounts last week without a single error. I stepped away from the window, my heart hammering. 43 years of high-stakes negotiations, billion-dollar deals, and nothing had prepared me for this. My own daughter, planning to murder me for money. I pulled out my phone and called my son, Michael. He answered on the first ring. "Dad, it's after midnight. What's wrong?" "I need you at the Vineyard estate, now. Don't call anyone else. Just come." "I'm in Boston. That's a 3-hour drive plus the ferry." "Michael, your sister and her husband are planning to kill me. I need you, and I need whatever FBI resources you can access quietly." Silence. "Then, I'm leaving now. Dad, stay somewhere safe. Don't let them know you're there. Your mother's in the house. I'm not leaving her." "Then stay hidden until I arrive." "I mean it, Dad. If they're serious, they're serious. I just heard them discussing my accident." More silence. "Okay. I'm bringing backup. Don't engage them. Promise me." I hung up. Michael was a financial crimes analyst for the FBI, brilliant with data like his old man. If anyone could help, he could, but 3 hours was a lifetime. I moved to the back of the house, to the master bedroom on the second floor. Patricia and I always left one window unlatched, a habit from 45 years of marriage. I used to tease her about security, but tonight I was grateful. I climbed the trellis, Patricia's clematis vines giving me handholds, and slipped through the window. Patricia lay in our bed, still in her clothes from earlier. Her face was slack, breathing heavy. I shook her shoulder gently. "Patricia, wake up, love." Her eyes fluttered open, unfocused. "Richard, why are you here? You're supposed to be in the city. What did they give you?" "Give me?" She tried to sit up, couldn't. "Ashley made me tea this evening. Said it would help me sleep. I've been so tired lately. She's been so helpful, making sure I take my vitamins, my supplements." "Those aren't vitamins, sweetheart. What else has she been giving you?" "I don't. There's a new doctor, Dr. Westbrook. Ashley took me to see him last month. He said I was showing signs of memory problems. Started me on medication." Tears began sliding down her face. "Richard, am I losing my mind? I keep forgetting things. Yesterday I couldn't remember how to work the coffee maker. This morning I got lost driving to the market. I've driven that route for 30 years. I held her face in my hands. "You're not losing anything. Look at me, Patricia. They're drugging you, making you confused so they can claim you're incompetent. Why would Ashley do that?" That was the question, wasn't it? I helped Patricia sit up against the headboard, then went to her nightstand. 3 prescription bottles. I read the labels. Benzodiazepines, high doses, antihistamines that cause confusion, and something I didn't recognize. I took photos of every label with my phone. "Stay here," I told Patricia. "Lock this door after me. Don't open it for anyone but Michael or me." "Where are you going?" "To end this." I went back downstairs, through the hallways I'd walked for 30 years. The study door was closed now, but I could hear them inside still talking. I didn't knock. I opened the door and walked in. Ashley and Derek spun around. The papers on my desk, the ones I'd seen Derek holding, were now hastily shoved into a folder. But I could see the letterhead, Sterling Life Insurance Company. My policy. "Dad." Ashley's face went white. "We weren't expecting you until Saturday." Clearly. Derek recovered faster. He always did. When Ashley brought him home 8 years ago, I'd done my due diligence like any good banker. Failed tech startup. Twice. Venture capital that dried up after poor investments. Lawsuits from investors. But Ashley loved him, and I'd kept my concerns private. Now I was regretting that decision. "Richard, good to see you." Derek extended his hand. I didn't take it. I heard everything. Through the window. About my accident. About the 12 million. About putting Patricia in a facility. The room went dead silent. Ashley's hand went to her mouth. "Dad, it's not we were just planning my murder?" I kept my voice level. 43 years of boardroom control. Never let them see emotion. Try again. Derek's jaw tightened. "You misunderstood what you heard." I misunderstood the stairs are steep, accidents happen to elderly people. I misunderstood once we have guardianship, We control the estate. Ashley started crying. Daddy, please. We're trying to help. You and Mom, you're not capable anymore. She can't even remember to take her medication. You're 67 years old. How much longer can you manage a property this size? The taxes alone. I manage 3 corporate boards. I consult on mergers worth billions. I think I can handle property taxes. It's not just the house. Derek stepped closer. I didn't back up. It's everything. Your judgment. Last month, you nearly invested in that Nigerian cryptocurrency scheme. I laughed. Actually laughed. I received a phishing email. I reported it to the SEC. Try again. The point is, Derek continued, at your age, your faculties diminish. We've been documenting incidents, memory lapses, confusion, poor decision-making. We have medical documentation from Dr. Westbrook. Let me see this documentation. He pulled the folder toward him. We're not required to show you anything, but since you asked, he handed over several pages. I read through them. Professional letterhead, detailed observations, recommendations for immediate intervention, including guardianship and managed care. Dr. Marcus Westbrook, geriatric psychiatry. It looked legitimate, except I'd never met Dr. Westbrook, never had an appointment with him. These incidents. June 15th, I allegedly left the stove on for 3 hours. I was in Chicago for a conference. June 23rd, I supposedly drove to the wrong address, got lost on familiar streets. I was in Tokyo. Should I continue? Derek's face flushed. The dates might be. Fraud? I set the papers down. The word you're looking for is fraud, along with attempted murder, elder abuse, and conspiracy to commit insurance fraud. Nobody's trying to murder anyone. Ashley's voice rose. We're trying to protect you from yourself. By drugging your mother? I just found 3 different sedatives in her nightstand. Want to explain those? She needed help sleeping. She was getting agitated. She was getting confused because you've been poisoning her. I picked up my phone. Last chance. Leave now or I call the police. On what grounds? Derek said smoothly. We're family. Here for the holiday. You're the one acting paranoid. Barging in at midnight, making wild accusations. If anything, this confirms what Dr. Westbrook said. Paranoid delusions are a symptom of cognitive decline. That's when I heard it. A car in the driveway, doors slamming, multiple doors. Michael had made good time. Derek heard it too. His expression changed. Who did you call? My son, the FBI agent. The study door opened. Michael came through first, still in his Boston office clothes, tie loosened. Behind him, 2 people I didn't recognize. A woman in her 40s with short gray hair and a younger man in a suit. Dad. Michael hugged me hard. You okay? Fine. Your mother's upstairs, locked in our bedroom. They've been drugging her. Michael turned to Ashley and Derek. His face could have been carved from granite. Ashley, what the hell have you done? Stay out of this, Michael. Ashley's voice shook. Stay out of you planning to kill our father? I don't think so. He gestured to the woman. This is Special Agent Chen from the Boston Field Office, Financial Crimes Division. And this is Agent Peters, our insurance fraud specialist. Dad called me 90 minutes ago. I made some calls. They were very interested in what I had to say. Agent Chen stepped forward. Mr. Hamilton, Miss Coleman, I'm going to need you to stay exactly where you are. Agent Peters? The younger agent was already at my desk, photographing the documents spread there. Life insurance policy. $12 million payout. Beneficiary listed as estate, controlled by Ashley Coleman Hamilton upon incapacitation or death of primary holder. Recent change, dated 3 weeks ago. I didn't make that change, I said. We know. Michael pulled out his laptop, opening it on the side table. I've been watching Ashley and Derek for 6 months, ever since Derek's latest business venture collapsed. Derek went very still. Hamilton Tech Solutions, Michael continued. Crypto mining operation. Lost $17 million of investor money in 8 months. Some of those investors, they're not the patient type. They've been making threats. Serious threats. Derek needed money. Fast. And he looked at Mom and Dad and saw dollar signs. He turned the laptop. Bank statements, emails, text messages. 6 months of planning. Consultations with Dr. Marcus Westbrook, who is actually Marcus Webb, a former doctor who lost his license in Connecticut for insurance fraud. Ashley's been paying him $5,000 a month to create false documentation. Ashley made a sound like a wounded animal. Derek lunged for the door. Agent Peters intercepted him, and suddenly Derek was face down on my antique rug, hands being cuffed behind his back. Derek Hamilton, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, insurance fraud, elder abuse, and identity theft. Agent Peters' voice was mechanical. You have the right to remain silent. Ashley collapsed into my leather chair. Michael, please. We weren't actually going to hurt anyone. It was just talking, planning. We weren't going to go through with it. Then explain the medication you've been giving Mom. Michael's voice could cut glass. Explain the forged insurance documents. Explain the conversation Dad overheard about accidents on stairs. Derek said it would just be a scare. Make them think they needed help, that we'd take care of them. Keep them safe. While stealing $12 million and selling the property they built for 30 years, I said quietly. That's your version of care? Agent Chen was on her phone, calling for backup. Michael sat down across from Ashley, and I saw something in his face I'd never seen before. Cold calculation, the look I used to get in hostile takeover negotiations. Here's what I found, he said. Derek owes $8 million to investors. They've threatened his family. Last month, his former business partner disappeared. They found him beaten in a Newark parking garage. He won't testify, too scared. Derek needed money immediately. He pulled up more documents. The fake Dr. Westbrook. I tracked him down yesterday. In exchange for immunity, he gave me everything. Every document he forged, every consultation fee, every fake diagnosis, including the plan. What plan? I asked, though part of me didn't want to know. Dad was supposed to have a fall. This weekend, during the 4th of July party, lots of witnesses, lots of alcohol, steep stairs, tragic accident. The fake medical records would show he had balance problems, confusion, medication issues. The death would be ruled accidental. Life insurance pays out. Property gets sold to a development company. Derek's already been negotiating. They flip the Vineyard estate, pay off his debts, disappear with the rest. And Mom? My voice cracked. Memory care facility in Connecticut. One that doesn't ask many questions. Dr. Westbrook has connections there. She'd be heavily medicated, kept confused, no visitors except approved family. Within a year, the Alzheimer's diagnosis would be real from the medication damage. She'd never remember what happened. Patricia appeared in the doorway then, clutching the frame. She'd made it downstairs somehow. Ashley, tell me Michael's wrong. Tell me you wouldn't do this to us. Ashley couldn't meet her mother's eyes. Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Derek said they'd hurt our kids. They threatened Emma and Jackson. Said if we didn't pay, they'd take the kids from school. I was terrified. So, you decided to kill your father? Patricia's voice broke. We weren't going to, actually. I didn't think. I just wanted to protect my children. By destroying theirs? I said. Ashley, you have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. What kind of mother teaches them that family is expendable when money's tight? More cars outside. Police vehicles, their lights painting the walls red and blue through the windows. Officers came through the front door, conferring with the FBI agents. Derek was already being led out to a car. Ashley sat motionless, tears streaming. Agent Chen approached me. Mr. Coleman, we'll need your statement, and your wife's. We have enough to charge them both, but the more documentation we have, the stronger the case. Whatever you need. We'll also need the medication bottles from upstairs. We can have them analyzed, determine exactly what your wife was being given. Michael brought Patricia over, settling her on the sofa. She looked small, fragile in a way. I'd never seen her before. 45 years of marriage, and I'd never seen her look defeated. The next hours blurred. Statements given. Evidence collected. Patricia's medication bottles bagged and tagged. Crime scene investigators photographing my study, my desk, the forged documents. Agent Chen was thorough, professional. She explained they'd been building a case against Derek for weeks, ever since one of his investors came forward. Michael had flagged the connection to me, started monitoring Ashley's communications. The fake doctor sealed it, Agent Chen said. Once we knew about Dr. Westbrook, we could prove intent. This wasn't just financial desperation. This was premeditated fraud and conspiracy to commit murder. By dawn, it was over. Ashley was charged with conspiracy, fraud, and elder abuse. Derek faced attempted murder charges, conspiracy, insurance fraud, and a list of financial crimes stretching back 3 years. They took him to county jail. Ashley, because of the children, was released on house arrest with an ankle monitor pending trial. Michael stayed. His wife Jennifer came with their 2 kids around 8 in the morning. They found us in the kitchen, Patricia and I sitting at the table we'd chosen together 25 years ago, drinking coffee neither of us could taste. "Grandpa!" My grandson threw himself at me. 7 years old, all energy and innocence. "Why are there police cars outside?" I hugged him. "Just some grown-up problems, buddy. Nothing for you to worry about." Michael took the kids into the garden while Jennifer made breakfast. She didn't ask questions, just moved around our kitchen like she belonged there, making pancakes, brewing more coffee. She'd always been like that, knowing when silence was better than words. The trial was in September. Suffolk County Courthouse, Boston. I testified. Patricia testified. Michael presented mountains of evidence. Financial records, emails, text messages, recorded conversations. Dr. Marcus Webb testified against them in exchange for a reduced sentence. He laid out the entire scheme, how Derek had approached him, how much he'd been paid, what documents he'd forged. The prosecutor was relentless. She painted Derek as a con artist who'd manipulated his wife, threatened her children, and planned an elaborate murder for financial gain. Ashley's lawyer tried to argue she was a victim too, coerced by her husband's dangerous situation. But the emails told a different story. Ashley had been active in the planning, had personally administered the medication to Patricia, had researched memory care facilities. The jury deliberated for 2 days. Derek was found guilty on all counts: conspiracy to commit murder, insurance fraud, identity theft, elder abuse. The judge gave him 15 years in federal prison, no parole eligibility for 8. The courtroom was silent when the sentence came down. Ashley's trial was separate, a month later. The jury struggled more with her case. She was guilty, clearly, but the children complicated things. Emma was 6, Jackson was 4. Their mother's long-term imprisonment would devastate them. In the end, Ashley was convicted of conspiracy, fraud, and elder abuse. But the judge, an older woman with kind eyes, showed mercy. 3 years in prison, followed by 7 years probation. Mandatory therapy, community service focused on elder care advocacy, and a permanent restraining order keeping her away from Patricia and me except under supervised conditions. But there was one more component: restorative justice. The judge ordered Ashley to make a public statement at a Boston community forum on elder abuse. It happened in November, 6 months after that July night. Patricia and I sat in the front row of a Harvard Medical School auditorium. 300 people in attendance, medical professionals, social workers, family caregivers. Ashley walked to the podium. She'd lost weight, her face hollow. She wore a simple black dress, no jewelry. "My name is Ashley Coleman Hamilton," she began. Her voice shook. "And 8 months ago, I helped my husband plan to murder my father and institutionalize my mother to steal their $12 million estate." The room went dead silent. My father is 67 years old. He served as managing partner at one of Wall Street's most respected investment firms. He advises Fortune 500 companies. He ran the New York Marathon last year, and I tried to have him declared incompetent so I could steal his life's work. Tears started. My mother is 65. She ran an art gallery for 3 decades. She has a master's degree in art history. She can recite every painting in the Boston Museum of Fine Arts from memory. And I drugged her. For months. Made her think she had Alzheimer's. Destroyed her confidence, her sense of self, because my husband owed money, and I was too much of a coward to find another solution. Her voice broke completely. I told myself I was protecting my children, that the threats against them justified everything. But the truth is, I chose money over my parents. I chose my husband's crimes over my family's safety. And when my father came home early and caught us, my first thought wasn't remorse. It was frustration that our plan was ruined. She looked directly at us. Mom, Dad, I know you can't forgive me. I know I destroyed something that can never be rebuilt. I just want you to know that I understand what I did. I understand that elder abuse doesn't just happen in nursing homes to strangers. It happens in families, in wealthy families with every advantage. It happens when someone decides that age makes people disposable, that money matters more than the people who raised you. She stepped down. No applause, just heavy, judgmental silence. We didn't speak to her afterward. Patricia couldn't, and I wouldn't. We drove back to the Vineyard in silence. That Christmas, Michael and Jennifer came with the kids. We cooked turkey, made Patricia's traditional stuffing recipe. The kids helped bake cookies, got flour everywhere. After dinner, while they played with their new toys in the living room, Michael showed me his phone. It was a photo. Ashley in prison scrubs, working in what looked like a library. The caption read, "Teaching literacy classes to other inmates. Therapy twice a week. Missing Emma and Jackson every day. I hope you're all safe and well." "Are you going to respond?" I asked. "I don't know. Should I?" Patricia came over, looked at the photo. Something passed across her face. Pain, loss, and maybe, just maybe, the smallest hint of something else. "That's between you and your sister," she said softly. "Michael, don't let what she did destroy your relationship with her. She made terrible choices. She hurt us in ways I'm still processing. But she's still your sister, and maybe someday she'll be someone we can know again. Not today, though," I said. "No." Patricia squeezed my hand. "Not today." That night, after everyone had gone to bed, I stood on our deck overlooking the Atlantic. The January air was bitter cold, but the stars were brilliant against the black sky. Patricia came out, wrapped a blanket around both of us. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. "How lucky we are," I said, "despite everything." "How so?" "We survived. We protected what we built. Michael came through when it mattered. And we're still here, still together, watching the ocean we've loved for 30 years. She kissed my cheek. I'm still angry at her. At both of them. What they did to us. The fear. The violation. I know. Me too. But I miss my grandchildren. Emma and Jackson, they didn't choose this. Jennifer brings them by on Sundays. We see them. It's not the same. They should be here, running through these halls, learning to sail on the water. This house, it was supposed to be their inheritance too. I pulled her closer. It still will be. Through Michael. And maybe someday, through Emma and Jackson directly, but not through Ashley, not after what she tried to do. We stood there for a long time, listening to the waves crash against the shore below. The house behind us, warm and lit, the life we'd built over 45 years. It was still ours. I'd learned something that night in July when I came home early. I'd learned that the people you love most can plot your death. That trust is fragile. That age doesn't make you vulnerable, trusting the wrong people does. But I'd also learned that you can survive betrayal, that you can set boundaries and still love someone from a distance, that forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation, and healing doesn't mean forgetting. The estate was still ours. The life we'd built was still ours. And whatever Ashley became in the next 3 years, whatever redemption she found or didn't find, it would be her path alone. We'd protected what mattered. Sometimes, that's enough.